Okay, the chapter's heading is Theory of Income and Employment. Okay, so I have focused on a few concepts the last class, in the introductory class that I have taught you. We have seen the following, but I would once again would like to reiterate on certain important concepts which I'll be taking up today, right? So what I'm going to focus on, once again, a quick review of propensity to consume and consumption function with the formulas. Okay, so kindly concentrate, because what I'm going to teach you today is consumption function. I will make it easy for you. We have some graphs to understand today, right? So I just, a little bit of concentration from your side can make things easy for all of us. Okay, in case you feel that it's confusing for you, please feel free to express, ask your questions and doubts. I'll be more than happy to explain it to you, or simplify it further so that things will be easier for all of you. Right. So first of all, before we go for today's topic, today what I'm actually planning to teach is consumption function. Okay, so I'll be basically teaching you some important concepts, some important formulas, and this graph. Okay, that's my target today. So I want all of you to understand this graph perfectly. Right, that's my target today, and if time permits, I will also teach you propensity to save and saving function as well, right? So let's start with the basic once again, the topic that I have taught you in the previous class. So let me take it to the whiteboard. Okay. Now, propensity to consume or consumption function is what is displayed on the screen right now. All right. Now, please understand how much we consume. You know what is consumption expenditure? Do we all buy goods and services? Yes or no? Can I have answer, please? Do we all buy goods and services?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You call it as consumption expenditure. You call it what? Consumption expenditure. How much you consume, will it depend on your income, my dear students? Can I have answer for this? How much you consume, will it depend on your income?
Yes, sir.
Right. So how much you consume depends on income. Please understand, I repeat this once again. In economics, we don't use the letter I for income. We use the letter Y for income, right? So the meaning of the word propensity to consume, we all know that the major factor that determines consumption is income. How much you consume depends on your income. So in its simplest of words, consumption function, the term looks complicated, but it's very simple. Consumption function is nothing but the relationship between consumption and income. Why are we studying about the relation between consumption and income? Because consumption depends on income. How much you consume depends on your income. So there is a relationship between consumption and income. Do you all agree to that? Is there a relation between consumption and income?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Relationship between consumption and income is called as consumption function. So it's not a big economic term. It's a very simple term. The relationship between income and consumption is called as consumption function, which is otherwise also called as propensity to consume. Can you all see this word propensity to consume, my dear students? Can you all see it on the screen, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So it's in other words, propensity to consume or consumption function means the same. That means it's a relationship between income and consumption. If you ask me why relation, sir, because consumption depends on income. How much you consume depends on income. Okay, so I'm trying to picturize it for all of you for simplified understanding. So I'm just trying to I'm revising what I taught you in the previous class before I take you through today's concepts. Okay, so kindly concentrate. Now, when we talk about propensity to consume, which is otherwise called as consumption function, which means relation between income and consumption, we can categorize this into two parts. Okay, please watch me very carefully. I don't know how many of you remember. One is called as average propensity to consume. In short, it is called as APC. It's very important that you understand the formulas. They are all simple, basic formulas and no complications here. Okay, and then you have something called as MPC, which is marginal propensity to consume. Okay, now don't get confused with this terminology called as average propensity to consume and marginal propensity to consume. Taking a few examples once again, all of you please concentrate on this. Assume that your income, okay, watch me very carefully. Assume that your income is 1,000 rupees. How much is the income?
1,000 rupees.
From that income, you are consuming, consumption is 900. How much is the consumption?
900.
Okay. Now look at this. I want all of you to theoretically understand what is APC. Okay. There's a formula to find out average propensity to consume. Listen very carefully. It's very simple. Okay. That is C upon Y. Can you tell me what the letter C stands for? What?
Consumption.
Consumption. Very good. The letter Y stands for what?
Income.
income. So if I have to apply the formula, how much is the consumption?
900.
How much is the income?
1000.
1000.
So if you divide 900 upon 1000, what will be the answer that you'll be getting?
0.9.
0.9.
0.9. Okay. Do you know what is the meaning of average propensity to consume? If I had to look at it in technical terms, what is the income?
1000.
Out of that, how much are you spending for consumption? Using for consumption?
900.
That means, can I put it like this? 90% of your income is devoted for consumption. Yes or no? Do you agree to this?
Yes, sir.
So average propensity to consume is nothing but 0.9 basically indicates the amount of income devoted for consumption. How much of your income is used for consumption? It's 90%. 0.9 in a very larger sense basically implies that out of 1,900 rupees you're using for consumption. So the amount, so APC is very simple. The meaning of the words average propensity to consume is nothing but the amount of income devoted for consumption. 0.9 indicates that 90% of your income is devoted for consumption. And that's, so the amount of income devoted for consumption is basically called as average propensity to consume. Do you understand this perfectly, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts? Can I have your response? Pratham, here, Jansi, are you all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ashika, yeah. Okay, now there's a formula to find out marginal propensity to consume, which goes like this: delta C upon delta Y. This triangle symbol is used as delta. You know, delta means change. Delta represents what? Change. Okay, so I'm just assume that the income increases from 1000 to 1100. Okay, income is prone to change, yes or no? Will income change? Is there a possibility for income to change, everyone?
Yes, sir.
When income changes, is there a possibility for consumption also to change?
Yes, sir.
So income is increasing from, please read the values on screen. How income is increasing from how much? 1000 to
1100.
1100. As a result, consumption is increasing from 900 to
980.
980. So what is delta C? So when I use C, and C stands for consumption, Y stands for income. So when you apply that delta here, it means change in consumption, right? How much is the change, my dear students? 1000 to 1100. What is, okay, what is the change in income? Can I have, what is change in income? Delta Y is how much? 1000 to 1100.
100.
100. Okay. Now, how much is the change in consumption? 900 to 980. What is the change?
80.
80. So 80 divided by 100 is how much?
0.8.
0.8.
0.8. Now, what is the 0.8? How much was your additional income?
100.
100. From your additional income, how much have you used for consumption?
80.
80. So that means 0.8 indicates that from your additional income, how much have you used for consumption? It's 80%. Right? In other words, it's 0.8. It implies that 80% of your additional income is used for consumption. So the meaning of the word marginal here stands for additional. You know, we have seen about marginal in several chapters in economics. Okay, it's not the first chapter that you're actually focusing on. In several chapters of economics, we have focused on the term marginal. Okay, marginal in simplest of words stands for additional, right? So the formula for marginal propensity to consume is delta C upon delta Y, right? Delta C stands for change in consumption. Delta Y stands for change in income. So if you apply the formula, the change in consumption is 80. The change in income is 100. So 80 upon 100 is 0.8. That means it indicates that from your additional income, which is 100, you have used 80 for consumption. So from the additional income, how much is used for consumption is called as marginal propensity to consume. Are you all clear with this? Anybody having doubts in what I have explained thus far? I'll clarify your doubts and proceed further. In case any of you are having any specific doubts to ask and clarify, you please inform me so that I can clarify this and proceed further. Anybody having doubts? Can I hear from all of you? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. Annie, I taught it in the last class. I'm teaching you a continuous topic. So I just revise this once again. Okay, it's just a review. So I'm teaching you. Okay, shall I erase this from screen? Whatever I've written on screen, can I erase that?
Yes, sir.
Now, mathematically, you also should understand MPC is always denoted by this alphabet. Okay, so just for you to understand MPC, when you use a small c, there are two, one is capital C and small c. Okay, if a small c is used, it means MPC, right? So MPC is denoted by the small alphabet, that is small c. Okay, so sometimes instead of writing MPC, they may use the letter small c. So small c is nothing but MPC. So that's the way we denote MPC. So keep that in mind as I proceed the explanation further. Okay, proceed with the explanation further. Right, I'm clearing my screen. Let's proceed with the concepts that is scheduled for today. Right, so let's come back to that. So okay, now let's understand some of the important properties of the Keynesian consumption function of propensity to consume. Okay, I'll keep it as simple as possible before I take you to the graph. Okay, so let's understand some basic properties. Okay, so everybody concentrate on this perfectly. Okay, number one. Okay, I like to put it as brief as possible for your understanding. I'll use the space, the left side of the screen, to explain this. The first property of consumption function is there is a direct relationship between income and consumption. Okay, you all know what is direct relationship, right? Tell me logically. Okay, no economics here. Simple logic, simple common sense logic. Okay, now tell me, if income is denoted by which letter? Is it denoted by Y?
Yes, sir.
If your income increases, what will happen to your consumption?
It will increase.
Increase. Now, are both moving in the same direction? Can I have answer, please? Are both moving in the same direction?
Yes, sir.
You call it as direct relationship. Direct relationship means when both the variables are moving in the same direction, it is called as direct relationship. You all know about the simple concept. When price increases, what will happen to demand?
Decreases.
Decreases. Is it moving in the opposite direction or same direction? Both.
Opposite direction.
Opposite. So one goes up, other goes down. So it's called as inverse relationship. What is it called as?
Inverse relationship.
Inverse. But as far as income and consumption are concerned, is it direct or inverse?
Direct.
Direct relationship.
Direct means what? Both are moving in the same
Direction.
That means the consumption increases with increase in income. Simple logic. If you look at those countries which have high incomes, they have typical higher consumptions. Those countries which have low income, they have low consumption. Those countries which have high income, they have high consumption. So there's a direct relationship. There's a simple formula, right? All of you, please understand this. Okay, I'm trying to teach you little basic mathematics. Okay, so don't get confused. I know some of you are not math students. In fact, I'm not a math student myself. Okay, but in economics, we understand economics with some simple mathematics. Okay, so I don't want to confuse you with we need to use simple mathematics, no complications, and make you understand. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood what is written here by me. Are you all clear with this part? Direct relationship is clear for you?
Yes, sir.
There is an algebraic expression given here. C is equal to f of y. Okay, I'll just give you a very simple mathematical formula. C is equal to, I'm writing the same thing here. Okay, C is equal to f of
Y.
Okay, how do you read this mathematically? Consumption is a function of income. Consumption is a function of
Income.
C is consumption, yes or no, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Consumption is a function of income, meaning consumption depends on income, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mathematically, you call this the variable on the left hand side is called as dependent variable. The variable on the right hand side is called as independent variable. You have heard this, all of you? Okay, independent means the value of consumption depends on income. So this value depends. Let's take some mathematical, simple numerical examples to understand this. Okay, for example, your income is 100. How much is your income?
100.
100. Your consumption is 80. Okay. Now your income increases to 200. Will your consumption also change?
Yes, sir.
So your consumption, how much you are consuming, is it depending on your income? Yes or no? One answers.
Yes, sir.
So that's called as C is equal to f of y, meaning consumption is a function of income. If you are confused with the term F here, you already know what is C and Y. F means it depends on. Consumption depends on income. That's point number one. Are you all clear with this? Everybody, anybody having doubts in what I have explained? Are you guys clear?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, can I have your response? Only Varun is responding. Are you all clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts on the first property? Are you guys clear, all of you? Manvi? Jansi?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts? Eve? Pratham?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. All right. Shall I raise the first point? First one, the working on the screen. Shall I raise that part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, look at point number 2. When the second property is when income increases, consumption increases by somewhat a smaller amount. For example, just say, okay, this is your income. Okay, this is your consumption. Your income increases by 10 times. Watch this very carefully. Your income increases by how many times?
10 times.
Your consumption will not increase by 10 times. Your consumption will not increase. Consumption will increase by 6 times or by 7 times. So when your income increases, right, the consumption expenditure also increases. Income increases 10 times. Consumption expenditure increases 6 times. So if you look at the proportion of change, you find the proportion of income, rise in income, is much higher than the proportion of rise in consumption. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to confuse you. Your income is increasing. Let's say your income is 1,000. How much is your income?
1,000.
Your income is increasing from 1,000 to 10,000. Is it increasing by 10 times almost?
Yes, sir.
But your consumption is increasing from 10,000 to 6,000, 1,000 to 6,000 only. So if you look at the change, when your income increases, there is no question about it. When your income increases, consumption increases. But income increases by a larger amount as compared to consumption. So what are you doing with that extra? When people's income increases, they also tend to save. Do we save money as our income increases? Do we also save, my dear students?
Yes, sir.
That's why the increase in consumption expenditure will be always somewhat smaller amount in a smaller amount as compared to increase in income. Suppose my income is 1 lakh, increasing to 1 lakh. I'm not going to spend all that 1 lakh, right?
Yes, sir.
I will spend around 40,000-50,000. The remaining I will save. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Income goes on increasing, my consumption will increase, no question about it. But my consumption will increase by somewhat a smaller amount as compared to income. So what I meant, why is the consumption increasing by somewhat a smaller amount? It's a logical concept, my dear students. As income increases, we also tend to save. So the reason as to why consumption increases by somewhat a smaller amount as compared to increase in income is because people also tend to save. It's a simple universal logical concept. Yes or no, my dear students? Do you all agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, can I have a response, please?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts in what I explained? Can I erase the screen?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the third one. Okay. Now, I want to know if I told you something, tell me, we use a letter small c. What is a small c? Marginal propensity to
Consume.
So we denote the marginal propensity to consume by the letter small c or the alphabet small c. Okay, I don't want to make it complicated by this concept mentioned here. Okay, I just want all of you to understand this. Okay, 0 represents nothing, no expenditure on, no consumption, and 1 represents complete expenditure on consumption. Let's say 100. Suppose, just imagine. Okay. Okay, you know the meaning of 0. That means nothing is spent. Okay. Always remember, whenever your income increases, consumption will be greater than 0. Will you stay without consumption? Your marginal propensity to consume will be greater than 0. What is the meaning of it? My income increased from 100 to 300. Is it an increase in income?
Yes, sir.
Will I stay without consumption or will I consume something? Answer my question.
We will consume.
We will consume. So will consumption be always greater than 0?
Yes, sir.
Marginal propensity to consume will be always greater than
0.
For example, my income is increasing by 200 rupees. I will not stay without consumption. I'll definitely consume. So marginal propensity to consume will be always greater than 0. Consumption cannot be 0. When your income increases, consumption will always increase. So consumption cannot be 0. Your marginal propensity to consume will be greater than 0. Okay, number 2, suppose your income is increasing by 200. Will you spend all the 200 for consumption, or will you also save?
We will save.
You'll save as so marginal propensity will be less than 1 as well. So that means you won't spend your entire income on consumption. You also will save. Right? So you understand the small basic formula. Marginal propensity to consume will be always greater than 0. It means you will not stay without consumption. This means that you will not spend your entire money on consumption. You also save a bit. Okay, so this is one simple basic property you have to keep in mind. Are you guys clear with what I explained? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, Annie, Manvi, Ashika, clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to teach you a very important graph. Okay. Okay, I'll use a space on the left side to explain to you. Okay, this is the graph. In case this question is asked as a 4 marks question, this should be, this is what you will be explaining. Okay, while you need to basically have a knowledge of what I've explained as point number 1, 2 in this here, what you'll be explaining in case you are asked the properties of consumption function is this graph. Okay, so let's understand some simple concepts here, all of you. So, okay, now look at some basic concepts. Okay, all of you. Can you see some alphabets here which you are familiar with?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, this is y-axis, this is x-axis. What we plot in x-axis is what? Please read this for me.
Income.
What we are going to plot in y-axis is what?
Consumption expenditure.
Consumption expenditure. Okay. Okay, watch me very carefully. Okay. Okay, now what Y stands for?
Income.
Income. What C stands for?
Consumption.
Consumption. Okay, so I'll teach you what is this. This you have some numericals also to be learned, to be understood. It's very simple formula and simple numericals. You will have some numericals from this chapter. Okay, so I will teach you. This is a formula for a linear consumption function. I'll explain to you. Don't worry about understanding this. I'll go in a certain sequence. I don't want to confuse you with concepts now. Okay, I'll go step by step logically so that you'll understand. Okay, so these alphabets are clear for you, Y and C. Anybody having doubts in understanding Y and C? Are you all clear with the term here? Y stands for income. Okay, and C stands for what?
Consumption.
So can you see another formula here? Y is equal to C plus S.
Yes, sir.
For example, your income is 1,000. How much is the income?
1,000.
Consumption is 900. What is the remaining?
Saving.
Saving. Very good. How much is the saving?
100.
100. So consumption is what? How much?
Income minus saving.
Consumption is how much? 900. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. And saving is how much?
100.
C plus S. Consumption plus saving gives you income. Or what is the income? What is the income?
1,000.
1,000. So if you add your consumption and saving, it gives you the income. So that's the meaning here. All of you, I hope all of you are understanding here. Y in brackets stands for C plus S. That means income is a combination of consumption plus saving. Yes or no? How many of you got it right? Are you all clear with that formula?
Yes, sir.
Right. All of you are clear. Anybody having doubts? Can I have a response from everyone? Can I have the response? Divyanshi, are you following me? Divyanshi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Annie, Jansi, Manvi, Shreyansh?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts? See, I sincerely request you to avoid missing this class, okay? I'm teaching you something very, very important. So request you all to avoid missing classes, okay? I'm okay to take it at 7 o'clock in the evening also, provided you are all of you are going to attend the classes, okay? Because I think it's clashing for some of you. All right, so let me clear the screen. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
I'm clearing the screen here. Okay, I'll come back to the second formula a bit later. Okay, now look at this. I want all of you to understand some basic graphs, okay, mathematical graphs. All right, so I'm drawing on top of this. I will also draw it separately. Okay, the income line is a 45-degree line. Can you all see this income line, green one, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Is it, can you please tell me that positively? Okay, I'm drawing two curves on the screen. Tell me which is positively sloped, which is negatively sloped. Okay, all of you watch this carefully. Okay. Number 1 and number 2. I'm drawing two graphs. Tell me which is positive and which is negative. Okay, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2. Which is positively sloped curve and which is negatively sloped curve? Please.
Number 1 is positive.
Number 1 is what?
Positive.
Very good. Okay, and number 2 is what?
Negative.
Any curve which goes downwards is what? Negatively.
Slope.
Any curve which goes upwards is what?
Positively.
Are you all clear with the basic graph here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So anybody having doubts in what I just explained?
No, sir.
Okay, now look at the graph on the screen now, everybody. Okay, so I'm erasing this. Now tell me. Okay, now watch me. Is this income curve a positively sloped curve or negatively sloped curve?
Positively slope.
Positively sloped. Very good. Is this consumption curve positive or negative?
Positively slope.
Both are positively sloped. Yes or no, everybody? I want answers.
Yes, sir.
All of you are clear? Both are
Positively slope.
positively sloped. All right. So let's understand some basics. Okay, all of you, please watch me very carefully. Okay, I want all of you to understand some basics here. Okay, now look at this clearly. Okay, all of you, let's precisely understand. Consumption function is indicated by the line C. By which line?
C.
C. Okay, and income line is denoted by the line Y. And the line Y is a 45-degree line. What is the line degree? What is what is a 45-degree line? If you take the exact middle, okay, if you take a graph, let me draw this graph for you. Okay, let's look at this. If you take a curve graphically, all of you please watch it. Okay, I'm drawing a curve graphically here. Curve here. Okay, now any curve which cuts through the middle of both the axes, right? This is I want to answer. This is y-axis, my dear students, and this is x-axis, right? All of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, any curve which cuts the exact midpoint of both the axes here, it's a 45-degree line. How do you call it as? In terms of a degree, how do you call it as? It's a 45-degree line. What is a 40-degree?
45.
45 degree. If you take this line like this, let me put it like this. If you take this line like this, it's less than 45 degrees. This is beyond 45 degrees. Exact middle is 45 degrees. Did you all get me right? Are you guys following my explanation, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
More than 45 degrees. This is less than 45 degrees. Exactly in the midpoint, it is 45 degrees. So income line is a 45-degree line. Income line is a 45-degree line. Are you all getting it right, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Right, so income line is basically a 45-degree line. It's actually a bigger concept. Okay, now look at this. Okay, now when we understand some income line, all of you understand. When we understand about income line, we need to understand some basic concepts about income line as well. Okay, so I'm taking a point on the income line. Okay, let me take a point. Can you see point A on the income line? All of you, please answer my question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know what is point? See, point A on the income line indicates look at this very carefully. I want you to concentrate on this. So what we are plotting here is consumption. What we are plotting here is income. Okay, so okay, look at this. Any point on a 45-degree line, okay, is equidistant. Well, let me explain. Look at this word before. Okay, look at this. Anyway, a 45-degree line drawn from the origin is a guideline. This actually the income line is a guideline, and we compare consumption from income line. Okay, so it's a guideline. It's a standard. Based on this income line, we actually conclude. Okay, now look at this point very carefully, all of you. Okay, I'm just trying to explain this point. All of you look at this. The distance between, what do you mean equidistant? Okay, the distance with this, is this the origin, my dear students? Is this the origin? Answer please.
Yes, sir.
And at point A, right, watch me very carefully. At point A, can I call it as this? Is this a change in y-axis? Is the change in y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Change in y-axis is 100. The change in x-axis also is 100. So at point A, the change in both the axes will be same. That's a 45-degree. The concept of 45-degree line is, see, look at this. This means the distance between origin at some point on the horizontal axis would be equivalent to the vertical distance, right? See, and understand this logically. I don't want to confuse you. This is a vertical line. Are you all understand? This is a vertical line. Yes or no? Let me put in my own words. Is a vertical line?
Yes, sir.
And this is a horizontal line. Yes or no? What I'm drawing. This is horizontal and this is what?
Vertical.
So any point that you take on a horizontal on a 45-degree line, the change in X and change in Y will be equal. For example, this line is 100 and this line also is 100. So in other words, it will be both. So you can measure income both the sides. Either you can measure it like this, or you can even measure it like this, horizontally or vertically you can measure. So in other words, a 45-degree line shows an equal change. For example, income is increasing from 100 to 200. Consumption also, sorry, income increases from 100 to 200. Consumption also increases from 100 to 200. The change remains the same. That's how you get a 45-degree line. So whenever the change in X-axis is equivalent to the change in Y-axis, you definitely get a 45-degree line. Right? Look at this. All of you look at this. Change 100. This also 100. Again, it is increasing by 100. This also is increasing by 100. Again 100. This will increase by 100. Okay. So that's how we normally take a 45-degree line. So what it means, I want all of you to understand these words very clearly and precisely. All of you look at this. Let me erase certain parts here so that things will be easier for you to collect from here. Okay, look at this. I'm explaining once again. Kindly concentrate. I'm trying to put it in simplest words as possible. Okay. For example, look at this. All of you watch the example. Can you see point A?
Yes, sir.
At point A, watch this very carefully. At point A, the horizontal distance, the horizontal distance OB is equivalent to the vertical distance AB. Now let me pick up this from the actual graph here. At point A, look at this. Look at this. I'm showing it from the graph of your book. Okay. At point A, the horizontal distance, watch me, I'm drawing on this so that it'll be easy for you to understand. Okay, at point A, is this point A?
Yes, sir.
At point A, the horizontal distance, watch me, all of you. That is this horizontal, everyone? Is this horizontal?
Yes, sir.
The horizontal distance will be, that is OB. The horizontal distance is OB, yes or no? Can you see OB here?
Yes, sir.
Is equivalent to the vertical distance AB. That means the length of both the lines are same. Are you all getting it right?
Yes, sir.
So at point, I'm taking another point. Okay. Point G. Can you all see point G?
Yes, sir.
At point G, the horizontal distance. This is the horizontal distance OY0. Can I take the horizontal distance OY0?
Yes, sir.
Is equivalent to the vertical distance, which is GY0. So that means at any point, the horizontal and the vertical change will be similar in a 45-degree line. Are you all getting it right, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts in what I explained just now? Can I have your reasoning? If you have doubts, you please ask me. I will explain it again. Who's having doubts in this? First of all, let's understand this. Okay, let me draw on this to make it clear for you. Is income line a 45-degree line? Can I have answer, please? Is income line a 45-degree line?
Yes, sir.
Number 2. Where is point A? Tell me. Where is point A? Answer my question. Where is point A? Is it on that income line?
Yes, sir.
At any point on the income line, the horizontal distance, please watch me. The horizontal distance, is this horizontal distance?
Yes, sir.
Will be equivalent to the vertical distance. Are you getting it right?
Yes, sir.
Any point, the horizontal distance will be equivalent to
Vertical.
Let me take another point once again. Once again, I'm showing you just for you to have an idea. At any point, the horizontal distance, is this horizontal distance?
Yes, sir.
Will be equivalent to the vertical distance. Can you see the length of both the lines are same? Can you all see that?
Yes, sir.
If this is 100, this also is 100. So this line is, just imagine, is 100 centimeters. This line also is 100 centimeters. So it will be equivalent. Both the sides, horizontal change and vertical change will be equal in a 45-degree line. All right. Are you all clear? I just wanted to have a basic understanding. This income line is taken as a guideline or a standard or a basic, okay, as a base. Okay. Now what we need to understand is some important basics. Okay. So I'm going to teach you now very important components. So let's very carefully understand. Okay. Now let's come back. I'll compare it a little bit later, but now let's understand consumption line first of all. Okay. Now look at this very carefully, all of you. Can you see the consumption line? Here, all of you, can you see the consumption line?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, is it like this or is it touching y-axis?
touching y-axis.
Everyone, concentrate on this. Your consumption line is not like this, right? It's touching y-axis, yes or no? Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Only Varun's response I'm hearing. All of you,
Yes, sir.
quickly.
Yes, sir.
Is consumption at a positive line or negative line? Answer.
Positive line.
Positive. Okay. Number 2, is consumption line touching y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you please tell me what does this indicate? What is the income?
0.
At 0 level of income, what is the consumption?
100.
I'm writing it as 1,000. Okay, let me put it like this. Okay, sorry. What is the income? This is income, right? In x-axis you have income. So how much is the income? Read this for me. How much is the income?
1,000.
0.
Here, income. In x-axis income. Okay, so 0. And when your income is 0, what is your consumption?
1,000.
1,000. That means consumption at 0 level of income is called as autonomous consumption. That's why this consumption line is touching y-axis. Is it possible for us to consume when the income is 0?
No, sir.
No. During COVID time, many of them lost their job. They did not have any income. But did they consume?
Yes, sir.
How did they consume?
Saving.
Very good. They would have used their past savings. They would have borrowed money from somebody. Yes or no? Logic?
Yes, sir.
Same applies to the whole economy. So understand, when the income is 0, there will be some consumption. So consumption at 0 level of income is called as autonomous consumption. 2-mark question. Please understand. It can be a multiple choice question or a 2-mark question. Can you all see the letter A here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Can you all see the point where this consumption line is touching the y-axis as with alphabet small a?
Yes, sir.
You know what is this called as? Autonomous consumption. What is this called as? Autonomous?
Consumption.
What is autonomous consumption? Consumption at what level of income?
0.
0 level of income. When you consume, when your income is 0, the whole country consumes at 0 level of income. How do you consume at 0 level of income? The income is 0. How are you consuming? You will use your past savings. Just like that, the economy also consumes at 0 level of income. So consumption at 0 level of income is basically called as autonomous consumption. How is it called as, my dear students?
Autonomous consumption.
Do you have any other class after 5? Anyone?
Sir.
Can you spare an additional 5 minutes if you all don't mind? I want to finish it in a proper sequence. Is it okay for all of you?
Yes, sir.
So, how many of you are clear with what I explained now? Is this, now let's understand, is this Y clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Is this formula clear for all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Is this point A clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the 45-degree line, point A, vertical, horizontal, that point is clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts in whatever I've explained?
No, sir.
Okay, now answer my questions in sequence, all of you. I want all of you to please respond. Okay. Consumption line is touching which axis? Please respond to my question. Consumption line is touching which axis?
Y-axis.
What does this point indicate? Can I have answer, please? What does this point indicate?
Autonomous consumption.
Okay, what do you mean by autonomous consumption? Consumption at?
0 level of income.
Here I'll finish it before that. Consumption at 0 level of income. Is that part clear? After that, is consumption after, so it's starting, okay, now look at this. Let me draw it again to make your understanding clear, okay? Okay. So no question, it's very clearly told by all of you. So consumption is starting from, after that is consumption positively sloped or negatively sloped? Is it increasing? All of you look at this, I'm drawing it. Is it increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Why is it increasing? As income increases, consumption also increases, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a few points to understand this graphically. All of you please watch it, okay? Assume that your income is this much, your consumption is this much. So your income is increasing to this much, your consumption also is increasing here. Can you all see that? Again, your income is increasing, consumption also is increasing, right? Again, income is increasing, consumption also is increasing. So are you all understanding what I'm saying? So the reason as to why it is positively sloped is because as income increases, consumption increases. Yes or no, my dear students? Can I have answer, please, to the question that I'm asking you?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now, are you all clear with what I'm explaining? Few basics. Another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll wind up. Okay. How many of you got it right? Quickly. Consumption line starts from. Answer my question. Consumption line starts from
Y-axis.
y-axis, and the point at which it starts from y-axis is called as what consumption?
Autonomous consumption.
After that, consumption is what slope? Positive or negatively sloped?
Positively sloped.
Positive. Why is it positively sloped? What does it indicate? It indicates that as income increases,
Consumption increases.
consumption increases. Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask you one question. Please answer me. I'm drawing two curves. All of you, please watch me. Okay. I need to teach you some basic mathematics. Okay, all of you, please understand. Okay, I'm drawing two curves, which according to you, we have learned this in elasticity as well, which according to you is linear, which according to you is non-linear. Number one, number two.
First one is
Number one is
second
linear.
one is
Number
non-linear.
one is
Linear.
One is linear.
number two is what?
Non-linear.
Those of you who are not mathematics students, it's very simple. Any line which is a straight line is a linear curve. Is the first graph a straight line curve? Answer please.
Yes, sir.
Is the second graph a straight line or a curved one?
Curved one.
If it is straight line, it is a linear curve. If it is not a straight line, it is non-linear. Simple as that. Are you all clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, why is it linear? Okay, can you all please tell me the formula for MPC? Please answer my question. MPC formula, delta
C upon delta y.
C upon delta y. Consumption is increasing to 80. Okay, let's write some basic formulas here. Income 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay. Consumption 80, 160, 240, 320. Okay, now look at this. How much is 100 to 200? What is the change?
100.
100. 80 to 160, what is the change?
80.
80. So if I have to find out MPC, how much is it? 0.8. Okay, again, 200 to 300. What is the change?
100.
100. 160 to 40, what is the change?
80.
80. So what is the MPC?
0.8.
The reason as to why this curve is a straight line curve or linear curve, every time your income increases, consumption is increasing by the same amount. That means your MPC is same every time. Yes or no? Can I take it like this? Every time your income increases, consumption increases by the same amount. That is why this consumption line is a straight line curve. Actually, your consumption can increase by any amount, but for simplified understanding, we are assuming that every time income increases, consumption increases by the same amount. That's why this curve, consumption line, is a straight line curve or a linear curve. Are you all getting it right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts? I know it's slightly conceptual, but I will share this video to you as well. You can again rehearse it once again. The things will be easier for you. Can I erase what is on the screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Basics are clear for all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now look at this. Now let's compare. Simple comparison, no complications here. All of you. Okay, all of you now look at this. Let me take a thin line. Okay, all of you look at this. Okay, which line is the income line? Can I have your response, please? Which line is the income line?
OY.
Y. Okay, so what is it a 45-degree line?
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? Is the color okay? You're able to see the color properly?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this your income line? Okay. Okay. What is the consumption line? Is it positively sloped?
Yes, sir.
Is this your consumption line?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Red is what? Now tell me answer, please. Red is what?
Consumption line.
Consumption line. Green is?
Income line.
At point G, can you tell me what's the meaning of point G? At point G, are both the curves intersecting?
Yes, sir.
So if I say both the curves are intersecting, can I say consumption is equivalent to income?
Yes, sir.
Right. That means your income is 1,000, consumption also is 1,000. Yes or no? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So consumption and income are intersecting at point G. Everyone, please respond to my question. Consumption and income are intersecting at which point? Point G. So if it is intersecting at point G, it means consumption is equivalent to income at point G. Yes or no? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
That means at OY0 level of income, consumption is equivalent to income. If your income is 1,000, consumption also is 1,000. That's the meaning of G. That's actually also called as break-even point. Are you all understanding? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Anybody having doubts in this part?
No, sir.
Okay, next part. Okay, next. All of you, please watch it. Okay, now before G, now tell me. So I'm writing it here. At point G, consumption is equivalent to income. Yes or no, everybody?
Yes, sir.
before point G. That means before OY0 level of income, before that, here, this part, okay? That means this part here, this part, before G, this is before, okay? Before this part, that is before G or before OY0 level of income, which line is above which line? Can I have answer, please?
Consumption line is above income line.
Consumption is
Above income.
greater than income. Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, sir.
That means your consumption is 2000 and your income is only 1000. So consumption is more than your income. Consumption is more than your
Income.
consumption is more than your income. It's called as dis-saving. That means your saving is negative. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You are spending more money than your income. Your saving is what? Negative. After point G, now you tell me which line is above which line?
Income line is above consumption line.
That means, can I say consumption line is less than income after point G?
Yes, sir.
That's consumption line less than income. It's called also called as saving, positive saving. This is called as dis-saving. This is called as positive saving because your consumption is 1000, but your income is 2000. That means your income is more than your consumption. Your consumption is less than your income. So that's the meaning of this graph. Okay, this is how a consumption graph basically looks like. Okay, tomorrow I'll be teaching you some numericals on consumption function. Okay, this one along with the explanation of this formula as well. I hope you guys are following me and there's no confusion in what I've explained. Can I have the responses taken, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who's having doubts in what I explained?